Hey y'all, Jen Hernandez, Loan with Jen. So today we are talking about, I already own a home and can I buy? What does that entail? And we will be right back to talk about it. Okay, we're back. You already own and now you want to buy. So what are some of the things that you need to do? Number one, you definitely need to talk to a lender first. So the last thing that you want to do is put your house on the market and it sells really quickly. So right now at the recording of this video, it's historical seller's market over the whole country. So you want to make sure that ahead of selling the house, you've got a plan. So contact your local lender, make sure you get qualified, be prepared to submit full paperwork. Pre-approvals cannot be accurate if you don't prepare to provide income documentation like pay stubs, tax returns, W-2s, that kind of thing. If you're retired, maybe retirement income, showing proof of assets, and then of course pulling credit. That is the only way that a lender is going to be accurate for you. So that's just setting the expectation. So the things that we look at as a lender, we do look at clients that possibly want to purchase prior to selling. So when you do that, we've got to count both house payments. We've got to count in your debt structure the new housing payment, principal, interest, taxes, insurance, HOA dues, and then the current house payment. Now some of you might be saying, well, I don't have an escrow account. I pay taxes and insurance annually, and that's not part of my payment. So that's a myth. So part of your payment, even if you pay it on your own annually and you don't escrow, we have to include all of that in the debt structure. So we add all that together. We just think of it as lumping it in a bucket, and we count all the debt of the current house and the new house. And then we want to make sure that your debt to income ratio is within the guidelines. Now, debt to income ratio requirements are different for conventional versus FHA loans, so we need to also look at that. And then the most important thing is we want to see, do you have money for a down payment prior to selling the house? Now this is where things get a little bit creative. Everyone has a different situation, so we could go over a lot of those scenarios. This is why it's great to call a lender as quickly as possible. So you might have a 401k that you can take some money out of. You might have some other assets. You might have a gift from a family member that you can take out. So we want to look at all of those things to see on a temporary basis, do you have funds in order to make the minimum 5% down payment? So minimum 5% when you're buying the next house. There might be some other options. If you're doing an FHA loan, you might be able to put a little bit less down. But for the most part, let's just say generically 5%. Now, as you go into the higher loan amounts and you go into what we call a jumbo loan, those down payment requirements are going to increase. So you want to make sure, and again, get with your local lender to just see what applies to you in your price range. Okay, so just to summarize, can you buy when you already own and currently own a house? The answer is yes, but we still have to count all of the debt to income payments against you. So before I end the video, I'm going to say one last thing that might be something that could be a possibility. You might be renting the house that you're leaving behind and you're not going to sell it. So there's a possibility that we can count the rental income on that house that you're leaving and put that towards the income of your monthly income to help offset the debt to income ratio. It's a possibility. If your current loan or the loan that you're going to is an FHA loan, we're not able to use rental income on your current property. But if it's conventional, we can do that. So again, lots of this, then that. Rather than memorize a bunch of underwriting guidelines, I hope you've got some details just to have some vocabulary and talking points when you talk to your local lender. If you're in Texas, please give us a call. We'd love to see about helping you. We'll talk to you soon. Legacy Mutual Mortgage is an equal housing opportunity lender. The opinions expressed here do not reflect those of Legacy Mutual Mortgage.